All right, well, here, let me adjust some things here. There we go. Okay, and we are live with a panoramic view of. I've been trying to find that setting that'll let me adjust and zoom in, but until then, you get to see everything, including my computer off to the side. So, howdy, everybody. Hey, Stormy. I think I saw what was your request to join the Facebook group, and I approved it. If that wasn't you, then or if you're using a different username, just tell me, and I'll get you in there. Howdy, everyone. Awesome, cool. Well, that's great. And hey, I have some great news, everybody. We just busted 4,000 subscribers.
Oh wow!
So, yay, happy dance.
For the Kemetic Independent?
Yes, for this YouTube channel, we now have a little over 4,000 subscribers.
And we're having a special giveaway. For the 5,000 subscriber, we'll give you a hug.
Oh.
We'll send it to you.
Oh, we'll send it to you. Well. Is that anything like Wally's free Snickers bar to whoever did something or other?
I can send it a Snickers bar for the 5,000 subscriber.
For the 5,000th subscriber? Yeah, well.
Yes.
Well, actually, I just did some, I added some things to Patreon. The new episode of the How-To Guide will drop on YouTube Monday. So,
yes, but what's on Patreon?
Well, we have a mascot now. We have a Peep. And if you're, for our subscribers, if you stick with us through the summer, you can get a sticker of our Peep. But
yes.
If you,
you can get a mascot sticker.
Yeah, but that's, you'll see it in the video. So,
yes.
So
it's worth buying, trust me.
Yeah, well, it's all stuff that I was working on, trying to make good things. But I hope everyone's doing all right. I know there's been a lot going on.
Yes.
Though a lot of prayers to say, and folks that have not been feeling well, and dealing with discouragement, depression, all those things. We'll see if we can build some good vibes, while we're here. So, welcome everybody. Chad says, yeah. Oh, well, you know what? Okay, yeah, I went and I tried that. Let me see if I can undo that. You know what? If you, Stormy, if you're willing to work to help with that, I'm gonna have to talk to you. Tell you what, let me see if there is a way to. There's supposed to be something in like the community settings where I can go in and adjust that, but darn it. Yeah. This is giving me. I can add a reaction. I can create a poll. But where's the No, I don't want to pop that out. I'm trying to think. Trying to see where I can manage the community settings so I can go in and adjust that. But wait a minute. You know what? I don't want to screw something up. So for this particular one, yeah, it's going to be just for subscribers. So if you're tuning in and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. It's just a 5-minute delay, and don't worry, this service will be here a minute. You'll be able to catch up. And otherwise, I apologize for that ill-fated experiment. We will adjust it for the next time. Yeah. So you only have to be subscribed for 5 minutes, and then you can see the chat and you can participate. So, but thank you for that little villain laugh there.
We need snacks. We need snacks.
Well, we will have snacks after service. And actually, On the calendar, or let me grab this book. I use this book pretty much in every service, so it's if you have it, you can follow along with a lot of things. And on the calendar, you have the Feast of Neith, who saved Ra, and then eating cucumbers by the Eye of Horus. Now, if you've ever heard, the Kemetic Orthodox does this thing with, chewing cucumbers for Sekhmet. Where that comes from is in the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, for this particular day in the year, there was a day of chewing cucumbers, or eating cucumbers, for the Eye of Horus. And I actually went through and I found that, and I explained it in the book, because the calendar day says, removing the tie and unrolling the papyrus by this goddess, which is referring to Hathor. And the women take, many collars, which is a symbol of Hathor. Cucumbers go forth from Osiris. It is the Eye of Horus that munches them. It is Horus, thirsty in the desert, that munches them. So does the priest of Sekhmet also munch cucumbers before the goddess. And there were several things that it called for a priest of Sekhmet to do. So I think that had something to do with maybe some kind of training that, a priest of Sekhmet would have had for doing, various things. And so there were offerings of cucumbers, but it wasn't necessarily for Sekhmet. Seems like it was for Horus and for Hathor, since it was in her temple. So I figured, well, cucumbers for someone who's thirsty. I've got some little pickles from the Middle Eastern grocery. Those little hors d'oeuvre pickles that you get, they'll have them at Italian restaurants and stuff like that.
Right. I was just sitting there and thinking as you were talking about this. Chewing cucumbers for Horus, who was thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
You could also be symbolically making a poultice for his eye, in a way.
Oh, maybe. But another thing to consider is if it says the cucumbers are coming from Osiris, and of course, being the fruit of the vine, fruit of the land.
Of course.
He's this is to, sustain his son,
right?
Who's thirsty in the desert. And so there's a lot of meaning to it there, and it's not just about Sekhmet. There's other layers to it as well. So we've got some cucumbers that we're offering for everybody. So they're in a little dish over here, along with snacks for later, and some tea that Morgan wanted to offer, and there was a story behind that. So I could tell him we put it on the offering plate for service.
They gave it back.
Oh, and they gave it back. They gave it back. You would completely mess with him. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Sarcastic. This is all a plot to get more subscribers.
Yes, it is.
Stormy is the name. Okay, so the E in Stormy is silent. Okay, gotcha. Hi! And Blackwood says, I'll get you next time, Optimus. Because you did kind of slip into Megatron for that, didn't you? Oh, well, howdy. Oh, what book is that? Actually, it's not Circle of the Sun. That is celebrating the Egyptian gods.
I have a question.
So,
some of you may know this. Is it Amazon Prime Day, or is that coming?
It's usually in July.
Okay, because they're barking all about that on the internet right now. So.
Oh, well, they might have moved it. Did they move it? I don't know.
Did they move Amazon Prime Day?
But no, this hopefully I get it to where you can see it. Yeah, there we go. This is the book, Celebrating the Egyptian Gods. That's my most recent one. Eventually I will write others, but I'm working on a novel right now. But this has like all the stuff that we're going to be reading is going to be coming from here. So
it's a great book. It's lovely.
Well, and I tell you what, I had no idea what kind of favor I was doing for myself when I put this together, especially having everything in alphabetical order. Because anytime people have requests, it's like, hey, let's say something for a particular deity. I just thumb through here. If I've got it, it's it's very handy. So So there you go. With that out of the way, I heard, I think, the first cicada of the season this evening, and I'm hoping we get to see fireflies soon. So. And now your favorite and mine. These cool waters are upon my hands. They purify me. As Tefnut purifies me. What?
I don't know how pure you are when you're taking care of your own illustration, thinking, I can't wait to freeze there. Like, y'all should see the smile on her face as she saunters over to me. Like, y'all should see the smile on her face as she saunters over to me with the bowl and the small vessel of cold water.
It's tap water, dude.
It's tap water.
I swear I did not do a thing to it. Yeah. In front. Huh?
I can only imagine the scene.
I know better than that, but it's not like the time we had a ritual at a friend's house and I accidentally put the water for the illustrations in the refrigerator too, and some people like gasped when we did that. Do you remember that, Darren?
I do.
Yeah, and that was completely unintentional. I did not mean to do that. But this is just straight tap water.
I laughed so hard because others could finally experience my fate.
Come here, you. Hail unto you, and what you do. Some purity is upon our hands, some purity is within our hearts, and we cast out all evil that pertains to us. We are pure. We are pure. We are pure. We are pure. I think it's just because it's getting to be summertime. It's warm outside. There's a contrast, and so that's why it feels so cold.
Very good. I don't care. Let's go.
But I don't even get something to dry off with. She does.
Here!
Come here.
Keep your towel. Hey, your water's be extra cool, dearie.
Sarcastic with all the love in the world. Shut up.
Okay, oh, and a question about Bennu is mentioned in the corrected Ra is their connection. The Bennu, that's the phoenix, and that is that's a form of Ra. That is an aspect of him. He has 75 different manifestations, and one of them is the phoenix. So you shine forth upon the shrine of the phoenix in Yunu. That's him manifesting as the Bennu bird, the phoenix.
Does that mean he's the symbol of the Rebel Alliance?
Is the Rebel Alliance symbol supposed to be a phoenix?
Yes.
Well, it might be a different mythology, because that phoenix is not to be confused with, for example, the Chinese phoenix. So it's whatever planet they come up with, and whatever phoenix they come up with. I'm sure there's an expanded encyclopedia to Star Wars that has something about it, but what?
See how she treats my beloved Star Wars.
Hey, this is Transformers land in here.
Those are my peeps too. I helped you get 3/4 of them.
Yeah, and I did it for myself, but I'm going to have the soundtrack to Top Gun in my head most of the weekend probably. But kind of pumped up about the sequel. So and the soundtrack is good. So if
The
you
only
need an
thing that can
earworm,
get faster than Top Gun is dinner.
yeah. After this, we will be feeding Darren. So. You know, Horus was hungry and thirsty in the desert. So let's at least light our Eye of Horus. Since I figured there it is. Speaking of what? Hey man, speaking of thirsty in the desert. That just tickled Darren especially. Okay. Oh yeah. Let me turn this down. Come in peace, bright Eye of Horus. Come in peace. Receive the light. The Eye of Horus shines like Ra in the twin horizons, and evil hides in fear of it. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The Eye of Horus destroys the enemies of Ra in all of their abodes, till none remain. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The Eye of Horus comes to all those who are tuning in now and in the future. The Eye of Horus comes, and we are purified with it. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
You arise in the Aketis Kepri, O Ra, spreading your light upon the earth. You sit in peace in the mountains of Manu as a tomb, bringing your light to Duat. Shine upon earth as you do in heaven and Duat. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who came from noon at the first time, for such is your uniqueness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Hu at your left side, for such are the words you commanded. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Sia at your right side, for such is your great wisdom. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, whose Hika goes before you, for such is your ability. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who rules with Ma'at upon your brow, for such is your righteousness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, and unto you, O Neith the Great. Hail unto you, O Unechidu, you lords of love and lords of life. Grant us life, well-being, and health. May our eyes perceive your goodness and our hearts receive your wisdom. May you shine upon us as you traverse the sky, that we may bring to you Ma'at and cast out his spect. And may you guard us from the evil one through the dark hours of the night, your protection being before us and your strength being within us. Take these cool waters, which are the inundation, that they may cool your hearts. Ayanachidu, these waters are the Eye of Horus, that your hearts may be refreshed. Milk, milk, may you taste it in your shrine. May your hearts be refreshed with it. We bring you this milk from the great flood, that you may be purified with it. We give you incense. We give you incense, great of purity. Its fragrance is the Eye of Horus, and its fragrance comes to you. It cleanses you. It adorns you. It takes its place upon your hands. Oyanachiru, we give to you this Eye of Horus, and its fragrance comes to you. Take this, your bread, your produce of the land, your cucumbers, on which gods live. This bread is the Eye of Horus, Oyanachiru. Lift it to your faces and be at peace with it. The gardens prosper, and Hapi rejoices, overflowing with his meal. We fill the Eye of Horus for you with wine, O Ra, Neith, Oyanachiru. Drink and be pure. The doors of heaven and the doors of earth are open with libations for you within this house. May your faces be refreshed with your libations, your wine and your water. Pure, pure is Ra Horaketi within his house. Pure, pure is Neith the Great within her house. Pure are the cause of all of these gods with this good myrrh that is given. Jehuti proclaims it. It is written in his house of sacred words. Hapi gives in abundance. Thousands of offerings. All things good and pure for Ra Horaketi, for Neith. In every place that their immortal cause dwell. Come to your body, O Ra Horaketi. Come to your body, O Neith. Come to your bodies, O Oyanachiru. Come to your invocation, and come unto us, your servants who are mindful of your feasts and your offerings. Bring your power, your hika, your honor, and your ba to these your offerings, and partake of them. Come, O people, raise these offerings before the faces of these gods. Lift the offerings before Ra, before Neith. All life comes from them. All health comes from them. All stability comes from them, and all good fortune comes from them, as it has since the first time. You okay? Ora Horaketi, and your son, the Oser Nisu Nekeperura. Your foes retreat from you. Horus turns himself to his eye. Turn yourselves to these, your offerings, and receive them from our hands. Yeah. And now from the table of the gods to the table of the blessed dead. We light this candle that it may be the Eye of Horus that lights their way into us. And we pour for them these cool waters from the table of Osiris, that their hearts may be refreshed. Warakere ta henket kakao abdus and naturmerhat kutnibet nofret wabet alket naturim and kawan akupunibu maakere nibu naturama. A voice offering, bread, beer, 1,000 of beef and fowl, incense, oils, and all good and pure things on which God lives, for the cause of all of these Akhu, all true of voice before the great God. It's also Bennu associated with Osiris. Okay, now don't get me started on Star Wars. Y'all see Kenobi on here. I don't think Darren has seen that yet, so we'll have to avoid spoilers. But There's a little rose management flag. It'd be cool to have a baking BC in the Discord, y'all think? Okay, I see from Mella's press from my grandma. The doctors found a spot of what looks like cancer again, hoping they caught it early enough. Absolutely. And I tell you what, let's go ahead and light for Malice's grandmother and for our other folks that are joining in that have asked for prayers for healing and dealing with discouragement and depression. We light this candle for Lady Sekhmet. And we ask for her blessings as well and for her healing. And we ask her to look after Melissa's grandmother. And of course, Kai Sobek always asks for prayers for his beloved aunt and grandmother, that they have a long life. And we have friends that we think of and we want them to have a long life too. A few of them happen to be voice actors. I'll say prayers for them as well. And we come unto you, O Ra, as Jehuti comes, our hands joined under Ma'at. Ma'at has come to be with you in every place where you are. An offering of Ma'at is made unto you, that your heart may be pleased, and your Ka shall live. Truly, your need has Ma'at, for they know you live in her. The Aeneid says unto you, your word is law eternally. As fat is cast out by your word. Rejoicing is yours every day. Ma'at has taken her place in your shrine. And may we always act with gentility and compassion, for such is the first Ma'at. May we always offer charity and hospitality, for such is the second Ma'at. May we always respect consent and fidelity, for such is the third Ma'at. May we always avoid violence and promote wellness, for such is the fourth Ma'at. May we always speak words of truth, for such is the fifth Ma'at. May we always promote the public good, for such is the sixth Ma'at. May we always act humbly and with temperance, for such is the seventh Ma'at. May we always honor our gods and respect others, for such is the eighth Ma'at. May we uphold Ma'at like Jehuti, that we may witness Ra's perfection every day. Yes, and I noticed there was a discussion about an Osiris connected Bennu. I'll have to look some more in some of my books to see what else I can find about that. But it would make sense considering that Osiris and Ra have a connection as well, especially in some of the underworld texts. They really developed that idea that when Ra is traveling through the underworld, he merges with Osiris, and so they end up complementing each other as the force of creation and the force of renewal. So that being the case, the Feast of Neith saving Ra, that's something that comes from her tradition, in Esna and probably in Saite as well. And the idea is that Neith, who could embody the primordial floodwaters, and as the Great Flood, she was like the primordial cow, and she lifted Ra out of the waters on her horns, which is the original meaning behind the symbol that you see with the cow's horns, holding the sun disk. It's just that Hathor and then Isis both, kind of adopted that, but it symbolizes the mother goddess as a cow, raising up the sun. So we'll start with. Actually, this was a new prayer for Neith that I wrote recently. And I know you're in here. There we go. To Neith, who goes forth. Hail unto you, O Neith the Great, mistress of Sais in your going forth, lady of life who opens the ways, eye of Ra which has no equal. You go forth from your house in the 4 hours of night, in the month of Arachneges, to perform your secret rites. For yours is the power to clear all paths. Yours is the power to move all obstacles. Yours is the power to destroy the evil one. Mistress of the East, mistress of the West, mistress of the North, mistress of the South. Heaven and earth are under your command. Holy Mother who gives all life, protect us, O Neith, as you protect your son Ra. And to Ra, Darren likes to refer to as my boss. Now come to be the words of the Lord of all. I am a tomb when I was alone. I came into being in noon. I am Ra in his rising, in the beginning ruling that which he has made. I am the great God who came into being himself, the waters, Nun, the father of the gods. What does it mean? It is Ra who created the names of his limbs. They have come into being as the gods in Ra's suite. I am unopposed among the gods. I am yesterday, I know tomorrow. What does it mean? Yesterday is Osiris, tomorrow is Ra, on that day of destroying the wicked foes of the Lord of all, and crowning his son Horus. I made the battleground of the gods as Osiris, Lord of the Western Desert, commanded. I know the great God who is in it. I am the great phoenix who is in Yunu, the Bennu. I am the overseer of that which exists. What does it mean? It is Osiris, likewise said, that which exists is his body. Otherwise said, it is eternal renewal and everlastingness. That's Nechech and Jed, two aspects of time, linear and cyclical. Or, as they say, eternal renewal is the day, everlastingness is the night. I am Min in his going forth. I have placed the dual plumes on my head. I am the great cat who split the Ished on its side in Yunu, on that night of war, of warding off the rebels, on that day on which were destroyed the wicked foes of the Lord of all. What does it mean? That great cat who split the Ished on its side in Yunu is Ra himself, called Cat when Sia said of him, how like him by what he has done. And his name became Cat. It's me or Miu. In the original language, it's a pun. Wrongdoing is overthrown, and evil is destroyed. I have seen Ra born from the hindquarters of the great flood. If he is well, then I am well, and vice versa. Now, this particular thing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here, do I need to turn that down? But this particular selection is, it started out as a spell in the coffin texts, spell 335, and then evolved to become what we know as chapter 17 of the Book of the Dead. And it's actually fairly long. This is a little bit abridged. But we can trace the evolution of it because the things where it says, well, what does it mean? It means this. That was added by somebody into what became the Book of the Dead chapter, because they were trying to sort of give commentary, an explanation to what was originally used in the coffin texts. And this is kind of a lot of the themes and the symbolism that you have in their beliefs. It's like the things with the two different forms of time and the connection between Ra and Osiris. All of that's in here. It's the kind of thing that you have to read a lot of stuff in order to kind of pick it apart. But when you do, it becomes like a very nice. I don't want to use a big word like exegesis, but it's an explanation of their view of the mythology and the world.
Say that word again.
It's spelled exegesis, exegesis or exegesis, but like I'll look it up later.
Yes, because I've never heard that word, nor seen it.
You've probably seen it, but probably not since grad school.
Oh.
So. Oh. I wasn't trying to like be mean. I was just saying, it's the kind of thing that's the context you usually find that.
It burns.
I wasn't trying to. Anyway, let me check and see. No, you don't want that to scar. But if you get a sunburn, actually, you know what? Because I got sunburned, I think it was last year when we went to the air show.
Yeah.
And he was actually upset with me afterwards. He was like, you should take better care of yourself. You should put sunscreen on. It's not like it used to be when you were a kid. There's more UV out there. So he was kind of unhappy with me about that. So,
when he gets unhappy, you're going to hear it for a while.
Yeah.
You'll burn it into your mind.
Okay, Sarcastic has a question. You know anything about omens? I saw a flock of 4 herons a while ago. One missing a flight feather on the left wing. They're usually solitary critters, so it's unusual to see. It depends on the kind of heron, because like cat or the bird like cattle egrets, that you find them in flocks all the time. Now, like a great blue heron, I don't usually see them in a group. Of course, if I see 2, I'll think, oh well, that's Ra and Seshet. I mean, not Ra, that's Jehuti and Seshet. But 4 of them. See, the number 4 has a significance. So, because that's the 4 directions. It's completion. So you have like the 4 sons of Horus. So that there may be some significance to that. Let's see. Actually, yeah. And she's a prayer for my husband and I's trip to visit his parents on the 7th of June going well. 8-hour drive. P.S. I go by Pixie. Okay, well, hey, Pixie, you know what? You're in luck because one of Neith's titles is Opener of the Ways. And so we ask Neith to make the paths clear for you for your upcoming trip. And may it be a safe one, and may the paths bring you back home when it's time. And
may the visit with the in-laws be something more than it had in the past.
Yeah, and you come back and join us, for the next one. And I have our bowl for fortunes as well. So, and of course, more prayer requests. And of course, I know everyone's been talking about what happened to those poor kids in Uvalde, Texas, and those 2 teachers. And I kind of feel like, yes, we should offer prayers for those little kids and their 2 teachers to be welcomed, into the afterlife.
And their families.
And for their families to have comfort, yes. And pray for the day when, when people stop dying in vain. Here is not the place to discuss what the answer should be, but I guess if there was anything that I could ask to pray for, it would be for productive dialogue to finally be had somewhere. Because we're just going in the same tracks over and over again and not getting anywhere. For Neith, who is, an opener of the ways, to break the deadlock that we have on discussion, on doing things, on finding solutions. May she finally break the right roadblocks, or give people the tools they need to break those roadblocks so that something can be done, and we won't keep having to lower our flags at half-staff. We won't keep having to offer prayers for, little kids that should be enjoying their summer right now. And that's my prayer. And if anyone's got requests for fortune cookies, there's a way that you can put a little icon in the chat. And I think I see one already. Let's see. Okay, so Black Wolf and Wolf Paradox. So we got our canine peeps. And Veronica. And had a 3-year-old girl come through our mortuary at work. So absolutely. So let's see. Starting off with Wolf and Black Wolf. So we got our California Wolf and our Arkansas Wolf. So let's start with Black Wolf. And I think Darren had to take a phone call. Okay, Black Wolf. Do what you love, and the necessary resources will follow. Now, I'll tell you something that I think is interesting about that. I've heard the expression before. My mother said this, and this is actually, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it as good career advice, but, do what you love and the money will follow. What I noticed is this says, do what you love and the necessary resources will follow. May not be money, but it may be the things that you need for something. So hopefully that answers, some kind of question that you were, might have had in your mind. But do what you love, and the necessary resources will follow. And now, a wolf paradox. Yep. You got 2 of them. Wolf paradox. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you may diet. Now there's another one here, so let's see what they say together. And the second one says, difficulty at the beginning usually means ease at the end. Eat, drink, and eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you may diet. Difficulty at the beginning usually means ease at the end. So this sounds like you may have some lean times or some tough times coming up, but they're not here yet. Enjoy it until then. And don't sweat it when you're in the middle of it, because that could be the necessary step to something better. So it sounds like they are giving you a heads up. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Veronica, and then sarcastic, and then blue conlon. All right. So Veronica. Veronica, it says conscience is a man's compass. Conscience is a man's compass. So whatever it is, follow your conscience. Okay, so that's the blue conlon. Kind of embedded in there. There we go. Kind of crushed the cookie up to get to it. Okay, blue conlon. Wow, it says expand your horizons. It's a simple message, but there's so much there. But it just says expand your horizons. Think outside of the box. Let's see. Okay, it's sarcastic. I skipped you. Let me get you. So sarcastic. Wow. It was waiting on you. I just came right out. And it says sarcastic. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the conquest of it. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the conquest of it. Or to put it in a different way, see, Darren's dad was a big John Wayne fan. And there was this little plaque that we found of a quote from John Wayne's, and we have it next to his flag on the mantle. And in case anybody is missing the context of that, of course, when people are, you know, veterans, in the service, when they pass on, there's, if they have a funeral, then there's a flag put over their coffin, and typically it's folded up ceremoniously, and it's people will keep it in a case as a souvenir, or as a memorial. And so we have his and both of Darren's grandfathers. They had them on, over the fireplace. Well, I put next to Dad's a little plaque that says, "Courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyway." So, whatever it is, you can do it. And we're cheering you on. So sarcastic, there you go. And next, Storm, since I know to keep that H silent. And then Imagination Bound. Storm, this one is yours. Wow. Storm, it says, bravery is the capacity to perform properly, even when scared half to death. That's rather striking, but there you go. Bravery is the capacity to perform properly, even when scared half to death. Let's see, and Imagination Bound, you are next up. I'm just glad I told my younger brother, the same one that called in the middle of a service a few weeks ago. He wanted to come over and do some kind of video game stuff. I'm like, no, dude, I broadcast at 8:30. Oh, okay, so he's coming over later. Imagination Bound. It says, everything you are against weakens you. Everything you are for empowers you. And I'm going to read this one more time. Everything you are against weakens you. Everything you are for empowers you. Now, the overwhelming sense I get from that is don't concentrate on the things that you are against, that you're, opposed to, that you don't like or whatever. Concentrate on the positive. Concentrate on everything that you are in favor of, that you're, willing to work for. Because that's what's going to give you power. That's what's going to empower you. Don't focus on the negative things in the world. Focus on what you want to see, for your own self, and building outward from there. Everything you are for empowers you. Need a pagan path. Need a pagan paths for werewolves? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, it's funny. I was thinking, the song, Werewolf of London. I was thinking that when we were pulling fortunes for our two wolves. Okay, so I see Jamie Getson, Serrana. approval, please. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Jamie gets it, and then Serana. All right. Jamie gets it. Don't let unexpected situations throw you. So, some things may come up that may be a surprise and maybe something you hadn't planned for. Don't let it rattle you. Don't let it throw you off of your intended course. You can get through it. Don't let unexpected situations throw you. And so, Serana. Serana? Wow, it says, be satisfied with what you already own. Now is not the time to be looking for a new car, certainly. I know that just popped in my head, but it is true. It says, be satisfied with what you already own. Let's see. Okay, Steph P. Oh, so the funny thing is tonight I was cheating on my diet. Oh wow, that's funny. But okay, so Steph P. Oh wow, you got two. Oh, one of them's hiding underneath the table here. There we go. Oh. Yeah, I mowed both yards yesterday, and my legs are telling me all about it today. Steph P, I know this. To my knowledge, this is your first time getting a fortune, and you got two. Now, the first one here says, even the longest of days will come to an end. Now, there's a second one here. And it says, every exit is an entrance to new experiences. Even the longest of days will come to an end. Every exit is an entrance to a new experience, or to new experiences. I hope that gives you some encouragement where you might have been, struggling with something somewhere, because that speaking of someone else, who has the title Opener of the Ways, because you have Wepawet and then you have Neith. Every exit is an entrance to new experiences. And if anyone else has got any other prayer requests, just go ahead and shoot those up here. And I'm sure, yeah. The first time we're talking it too, yeah. Yeah, it's almost like, they were waiting to tell you some things, and so now they're going to catch up. And yeah, if you have some prayers that you want to post, that is absolutely cool. And is there an initiation ritual? Well, I have something kind of written for like a self-initiation if you want to do one, and that's actually in Circle of the Sun. That has a lot of stuff in it, and typically what we'll do is and it's funny, we have Memorial Day weekend coming up, this weekend, but for Labor Day weekend, that usually coincides with the Feast of Opet, and so what we'll do is, if you want to consecrate yourself, and when we get to a point where we're incorporated and we say, okay, we have criteria for this is, if somebody wanted to become a priest, the ordination, we would probably do it for the Feast of Opet. So that's, at the end of summer. But yeah, I have a whole thing on that, because yes, it's not like in Wicca where you have your different degrees and the idea is everyone becomes a priest or something like that. Now this, you're here, you're with us. You can choose to initiate yourself if that's a personal calling that you have, but otherwise, you made it here. That's your initiation. But like I said, you can find more of it in Circle of the Sun as well. The things that I wrote about that. And actually, it's self-initiation, page 56. That's where we start and talk about that. Okay. Let's see. And I can help with a 501c3. Lots of paperwork on that. Cool. Okay, and 91109 has a prayer of thanks for prosperity. Actually, yeah, I would, I'd love to do that. Here's where I'm at right now. Because I would be incorporating for the state of Louisiana, because that's where, we are. There's certain specific requirements that they have, and there's some, ethics and rules where, if you are, like the head clergy, then you cannot be on the board of directors. And so I would have to get Darren and a couple of other people for that, and so that's figuring out some of the structure for that is where I'm at right now. And then saying, okay, well, if somebody wants to, if we want to have a priesthood, what should be the requirements? And those are things that I'd really love to have some discussion and kind of get some feedback on that. And, I know you guys have, are pretty active on the Discord. That may be where we need to go and sit down and talk about this, because then we could kind of, put our heads together, get some input on that. And I want to try and do that before, Wep Run-Pet, this year, which, would be July 18th. Like I said, I've got some stuff already started. It's just figuring out some of the specifics for, this area. So I've had several folks who said, that they're familiar with the 501c3 process. I might need some help with that, but the main thing is figuring out the specifics for, this state, because some states it's, really easy, like if you saw that John Oliver thing where they basically incorporated a church in the state of Texas because they could. That's because their laws are, very lax with that, but here it works a little differently. So I do have a kitty. I have, a savings account that is saved specifically for that. And it's funny, there were a couple of years when my father apparently couldn't even be troubled to get me a gift card. He just had sent one of my brothers, $100 bill. Was like, here, that's for Sharon. And I was a little annoyed because he couldn't even get the gift card I asked for. So I said, you know what? This will really annoy him. I'm going to put it in the savings for the Kemetic reform. So that's where some of our savings came from. Because I know that's the sort of thing that would have annoyed him if he knew about it. Okay, cool. And yeah, we should have a chat room and a discount record. Have it in a study group. Yeah. Oh, so you're from Vernon Parish. You're from Leesville, originally. Oh my God! Darren would want to talk to you. If you're from Leesville, you probably have heard of the Lions Camp. He went there every summer for years, and there's a special place in his heart for the Louisiana Lions Camp for crippled children, which is like in Anacoco, technically, just north of Leesville. But yeah, yes. So, considers all money on rent. You came out of funded by a little occult shop. That's there, yeah. You attended what years? Because you might have known Darren. Wow. And that's so funny because he's on the phone with somebody up front right now. I don't know who he's talking to. But I'm going to have to tell him that. He will totally trip. Because he was there in like the 1980s and then the early 90s. So, you guys might have met. Okay, 90s and very early double odds. Okay, yes, you're a little younger than him, sounds like. But if you were there before 1995, he would have been one of the older kids. So wow, that's a really interesting thing to find out. So, yeah, and by the way, if anyone has tried to send me a message on Facebook Messenger and I haven't gotten it yet, just let me know, and that will, be sort of a poke to me to go and open that up, because a lot of times, it's like everything's a to-do list around here. There are times when I put that off, but yeah, just poke me and I will get to you. But hang on. You know what? And I tell you what, doing in-person stuff, I would love to do that too. And that's why I want to have a convention, at some point in the future. And as soon as we get incorporated, that would make it easier to have, like liability insurance and stuff like that. Because it's always a good idea to have that, just in case, something weird goes on. I think as long as we don't let in, all and sundry, we won't have like, rainforest. But it's always a good idea to have, your ducks in a row for that sort of thing. But, oh, your home universe. That's so awesome. Yes, Kemetic. Now, I will say this in regard to that. What I'd also like to do would be to open up, to have, because I think, a dealer room, where people can go and sell stuff would be great. Besides, I know someone who has a shop in Dallas called Little Egypt. And if I called her and said, hey, you want to come and, bring, because she has statues and stuff like that. You want to come and, have some of those? I think she would be happy to do that, because then she could go and play at the boats. But I'd also like to invite folks from, other ancient Near Eastern pagan traditions, if they want to come and maybe have a workshop or something. That way, we have, more folks there, we might be able to get, a nice rate on a hotel, I'd love to see about getting, there's a Middle Eastern restaurant here in town that can cater, and if people wanted to, pre-register for a dinner, we could come and have a dinner and eat Middle Eastern food and, have a nice ambiance. These are all ideas that I have, but, one thing at a time. We got to get, the basic planning first. So, and you know what? I'm totally down for those hugs and songs and dances. That would be awesome. So, definitely. And I know someone had a prayer for thanks for prosperity, and I'm going to echo that. And prayers for the garden to continue doing well, and anyone else who's got a garden going, may it also prosper this season, and life, prosperity, and health for everyone here and for all their loved ones. So. Share to Reddit Kemetic group. I'm a little. I'm not quite sure what to think about Reddit, because there are folks that apparently have had good conversations and good experiences there, but I also hear about all the terrible things that are also on Reddit. So I'm a little, unsure, kind of divided in my thoughts on Reddit. But it's kind of like how for a while, not LiveJournal, where was it? Maybe it was LiveJournal. There was another community a while ago that was like kind of the no Tumblr. It was Tumblr where that was like all the scary things happen, and now it's Reddit. And then, of course, before that was 4chan. But now there used to be more Tumblrs, but so yeah. And see, I was on Tumblr for a little while. I actually have an account, but I went on there twice and never went on again. I still need to update some things on DeviantArt. So, it's one of those things. Every place where you have an account is someplace that's like begging for more time. And you only have so much of it to go around. But all things being as they are, let's go ahead and I'm going to tell Darren that there was someone from Lions Camp among us, and he is going to totally flip out. And I'm going to have to get in touch with you on Facebook because, like I said, you guys might have met and didn't even know it. Yeah, you know what? I will say this when it comes to online groups, and part of the reason why I'm not on every group that there is, I kind of learned the hard way almost 25 years ago now with if anybody remembers Usenet and the news groups like alt.whatever, alt.toys.transformers, and then some of the other ones from that. That was my first experience with fandom and online fandom and the sort of thing that we know it now. It's like, these kinds of things always happen. Well, it was brand new at that point. And there was somebody who was a character there. She was a good friend of mine for a few years, but between her own, frankly, mental illness that was never diagnosed, and then the effects that being online and in a group and how that can, kind of put blinders on you and your thinking, and you end up focused on stuff like that. It just got to be a really negative experience. A very long story, but we ended up, our friendship went up in a very public fireball. And dealing with all of that, losing somebody that I thought was a friend, and the other things that were going on in my life at the same time, is what ended up putting me on the path that led to Buddhism and then eventually to here. But what I learned from that is, if you want to save your own enjoyment of something, be it a fandom, be it religion, like Kemeticism or something like that, you've got to find your offline space where it is just yours. So that when you venture into forums and all this other stuff, it's you're visiting, but you don't live there. So that's my sermon for the night. Oh boy, and I'm saving that for June, for my June how-to episode. So stay tuned for that. But the one for May is coming up on Monday. So that is to be continued. But in the meantime, hail unto you, Atum. Hail unto you, Capri. You come into being upon the primeval hill. You shine forth upon the shrine of the phoenix in Unu. You breathe out Shu and Tefnut. May the giving of these offerings endure, as the name of Atum, foremost of the great in need, endures. May they endure as the name of Shu, Lord of Upper Menset in Unu, endures. As the name of Tefnut, Mistress of Lower Menset in Unu, endures. As the name of Geb, the earth's Ba, endures. As the name of Nut in the shrine of Shanit in Unu, endures. As the name of Osir, Kentiamentiu, endures. As the name of Asat in Icheru, endures. As the name of Sutek in Nubet, endures. As the name of Horus in Pei, endures. As the name of Wajit in Dep, endures. As the name of Jehuti in Kamenu, endures. As the name of Ra in Yaket, endures, likewise for eternity. You have come in peace, O Ra. You've come in peace, O Neith. You've come in peace, O Yunetshadu. May you go forth in peace, O Ra. May you go forth in peace, O Neith. May you go forth in peace, O Yunetshadu, to every place your immortal cause wish to be. May you sail in joy in the Menjet bark, and rest content in the Sektet bark. And may you smile upon us, your humble servants. Alrighty. Yes. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And yes, I'm. Yes, and I agree. Mary Droth, I'm with you. And it's funny. I have some lotus extract, but it's like in the cabinet under the shrine. I haven't gotten that out in quite a while. But yes, I would love to be able to give all of you guys hugs. And y'all go easy on Darren with the cool waters. That's all I gotta say. So, we don't want to be mean to him. Maybe just a little bit. I think you guys had mentioned something about wanting to send some mail. Let me get in touch with you guys in another forum, and we'll see about where to send fan mail. But yeah, and Storm, I need to get in touch with you. Like I said, if you're a Lions Camp alum, we I've got to get you in touch with Darren. But big virtual hugs for everyone. and wish me luck, guys. I tried to transplant my water lily. It's not an Egyptian lily. It's just a hardy lily. But I'm trying to see if I can get it to finally bloom. I've had that thing for 8 years, and I think I had it in the wrong kind of pot this whole time. So maybe this summer will be the one. Yeah, you guys. Alrighty, guys. Love you and see you soon.